All right, welcome. My name is Christina from Scoliosis Wellness, and today's class will be yoga with scoliosis. So make sure you know your curve, and if you don't, I will give you direction for that as well. We are going to get started in hero position. So on your knees, I like to sit on a block, just so I'm not putting all the pressure on my legs. Placing the block between my ankles and then softening onto the block. Maybe use your blanket for underneath your ankles. And then we're just going to get started with some elongation before we settle into our body. So let's have our hands on our thighs, maybe soften our eyes here. And we'll take a small inhale to start. And then slowly exhale out all your air. And as you do so, you're going to press down through your legs, through your shins, squeeze your glutes, press down through your hands on your thighs, pull the ribs in, belly button to spine, lengthen through the top of the head. Big inhale here. And then again, exhale, push down through the legs, press down into your hands, squeeze your glutes, pull the ribs in, belly button to spine, lengthen through the top of the head. Big inhale here. And then one more time, exhale, press through the legs, press through the hands, squeeze the glutes, belly button to spine, lengthen through the top of the head. Big inhale. And then exhale, release, give yourself a little wiggle. And then soften back down. And then we're going to check in with our body, keeping this length in our spine. So again, maybe you keep your eyes closed and then start to return to your natural breath. Taking a gentle inhale and exhale, starting to take note of how your body feels today. And start scanning down your body from your head all the way down to your toes. Just being aware of the areas that feel good, but also being aware of the areas that don't feel as good today. Notice if your inhales and exhales are short or long. Just starting to become aware of your body in this moment. And then start to turn your attention inward. And if there's anything that your mind, body may need today, start to think of an intention for your practice. Maybe it's letting go. Maybe it's finding calm. Maybe it's being present. Whatever that intention is, start to bring that to your third eye center, the place between your eyebrows. And hold it there throughout our practice and come back to that intention as we move whenever you need. We'll take a big inhale through our nose here. And then open mouth, sigh it out, let it go. Take another big inhale here. And exhale, open mouth, let it go. Then slowly start to open your eyes. And then we'll start to begin our flow. So on your next inhale, you're going to come into a kneeling extended mountain. So with your hands, so swing your arms up and around as you put your weight into your shins, reaching up towards the sky. And then as you exhale, hands come to heart center. Keep those ribs pulled in, slightly engaging your glutes as you sit back down onto your heels. And then again, inhale, reach up, come on to your shins, your knees. And then exhale as you bring your hands to heart center, ribs pull in, glutes towards your heels. One more time, reach up as you come to a kneeling. Reach up. And then exhale, hands to heart as you sit back onto your heels. We're going to come up one more time into a kneeling. And then we're going to find our upper body corrections here. So if you're whatever thoracic convex side, bring that arm or your hand to your shoulder, and that elbow is going to reach out. And then the thoracic concave arm is going to reach to the sky. And if you know your bottom corrections, you can feel free to shift your hips back and reach through the leg that needs to be grounded down more. We're going to take an inhale. Exhale, reach the elbow wide, reach the fingertips high. Another big inhale here. And then exhale, slowly release. And we're going to make our way onto our backs. So release the block, bring it to the top of the mat, and come onto our backs. With the feet on the mat, knees are high. And back to the mat. Feel free to use your wedges if you have them. And then we'll start with some pelvic tilt. So I always like to bring my hands to my hip points, those bony points on the hips, just so I can feel them and be aware and try to keep them as neutral as possible. So we're going to take an inhale here. And then exhale, soften the low back, gently tilting the pelvis towards your nose, engaging your abdominals towards the mat. Inhale, start to release, lifting that low back gently off the mat. Exhale, softening the low back to the mat, finding that imprinted spine, engaging your abs here. Inhale to release. Exhale, soften that low back to the mat, finding your abdominals. And then we're going to stay here in imprinted spine. Bring your palms along your side, pressing them into the ground. And then we'll do some bridging here. So take another inhale, and then exhale, lift your hips, but you're not going high. We're going about 2 inches off the ground. You're going to feel your glutes slightly engage. You're going to press your hands into the mat, feeling the backside engage. And then exhale, lower down. We're going to move with our breath. So inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. And again, inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. One more time. Inhale to lift. And exhale to lower, coming back to a neutral spine. We'll bring that right knee in towards the chest, give it a big squeeze, and then reach the right leg up to the sky, grabbing behind the thigh, maybe the calf, giving yourself a nice little hamstring stretch, pointing and flexing your toes. Then release that leg. Keep it lifting up towards the sky. Hands are along the side, and then we'll do little circles. So I like to point my toe, and then we'll do little circles. Again, kind of keep working on keeping your hips as neutral as possible. We'll go around for 3, 2, 1, and then the other direction here. Using your abs to keep your hips as neutral as possible for 3, 2, 1. Then you're going to bend that right knee coming into figure 4. So place the right ankle to the left thigh. Let the knee go wide. Stay here if you already feel the stretch, or maybe you bring that left knee in towards the chest. Flex the right toes to protect the knee, and maybe grab behind that left thigh. And then here you're going to roll out that left ankle, going one direction and then the other direction. Take an inhale, bring that knee closer to the chest, and then release. Both feet back to the mat. And then we'll take it to the other side. Left knee in towards the chest, big squeeze, and then reach that left leg up towards the sky, grabbing behind the thigh, or maybe the calf, pointing and flexing the left toes. Start to release your hands, keeping your leg lifted. And then we'll do leg circles on this side, keeping your hips as neutral as possible for 3, 2, 1, and then the other direction for 3, 2, 1. Coming into figure 4, bending that left knee, bringing the ankle to that right thigh. Stay here if you feel the stretch, or start to bring that right knee in towards your chest. Again, flex the left toes to protect the knee. Maybe grab behind that right thigh, and then we'll roll out the right ankle, going one direction and then the other direction. Take another inhale, squeeze that knee in towards your chest, and then release both feet down. Then we'll make our way to tabletop, lowering your knees off to one side, pushing yourself up, and then finding that tabletop position. Hands, wrists underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips. And we're going to do a variation of cat-cow. You're going to bring your hands slightly forward. You're going to keep the ribs in, gentle engagement in your belly. And then on your inhale, you're going to shift your weight back over your wrists. And then as you exhale, you're going to shift your weight back. You're not coming into child's pose. You're just keeping yourself lifted. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, shift back. Then we'll move with your breath here. Again, keeping your hips lifted. Moving with your breath. And then on your next exhale, this time we'll come into child's pose. So you can bring your feet together, your knees slightly wide, and then shift your hips all the way towards your heels. And this will look different on everyone, depending on how flexible you are. And then we're going to do some shoulder mobility here. So on your next inhale, you're going to bring your pinkies to the mat. Palms are going to face each other. You're going to press down into the mat, feeling your shoulder blades come to the outside of your ribs. Take an inhale here. And then exhale, palms come back down to the mat. We'll move with our breath. Inhale, pinkies press in to the mat, palms face each other. Exhale, palms back down into the mat, pressing down. Inhale, pinkies press into the mat. Exhale, palms press into the mat. Inhale, come back up into a tabletop position. Bringing the wrists back underneath the shoulders, knees back underneath the hips. And then we're going to find our scoli balance here. Now, if you don't know your corrections, you're going to do a spinal balance. Or if you don't know your curve, you'll do scoli balance or do the same thing on each side. But to start, if we're going to work with the concaves of our curve. So the thoracic concave arm is going to reach forward, keeping the fingertips on the mat. And then the lumbar concave leg is going to reach back, keeping the toes on the mat, reaching through the heel. Slight tuck of the tailbone, keep those ribs pulled in, and then we'll take a few rounds of breath here, finding length. So really reaching through your fingertips, reaching through your heel. Take a big inhale. Hold for the exhale. Inhale here. And then exhale, release, come back into tabletop. Then we'll work with our concave side. So the convex side. So our thoracic convex arm is going to reach forward. And then you're going to bend the elbow, coming into a cactus arm. And then the lumbar convex side leg is going to reach back, turn those abs on, slight tuck of the tailbone, and then you're going to lift those toes off the ground. Nice and strong here. Take an inhale here. Exhale, hold. Inhale here. And exhale, release. Both hands and knees come to the mat. Give your tailbone a little wiggle. And then we'll come into bird dog. So the right leg goes to the back of the mat, tuck the toes, and then you're going to tuck the tailbone. This will help the abs turn on here, pressing through your hands, and then using your butt muscles, your glutes, you're going to lift that leg. So keep everything nice and strong here, and then you're going to lift the leg for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the toes, come to the inside of that foot, and we're going to take this into half gate. So the left foot swings to the side, the left hand comes to the middle of the mat, maybe place a block underneath, and the right hand reaches up towards the sky. Beautiful. Shift the hips forward so they're stacked. Shoulders are stacked. Now you can stay here, or if the right side is your thoracic convex, you're going to reach your arm towards the back of the room. If the right side is your thoracic concave, you're going to reach your arm up and over your head, reaching toward the same direction as your head. And then we're going to hold here, breathe here. Take an inhale. And then exhale, we'll release back into tabletop position. And then we'll take it to the other side. Left toes to the back of the mat. Press down through your hands, tuck the tailbone. And then using your glutes, you're gonna lift that left leg for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the toes, come to the inside of that left foot, and then we'll come into half gate on the other side. So the right foot shifts back, right hand to the middle of the mat, and then the left hand goes up towards the sky. Again, shift your hips forward. Left hand can reach towards the sky, or if the left side is your convex in the thoracic area, you're going to reach towards the back of the room. If it is your concave, you're going to reach your hand up and over your head, finding length between the rib cage. Take an inhale here. And then exhale, release back into tabletop. And give yourself a little wiggle in the tail. You're going to tuck your toes here. And then we're going to find some ab engagement here. So you're going to think about squeezing your pubic bone to your low ribs, your ribs to the midline, nice and tight. Get a little corset feeling going on. So you can stay here. Or if you want a little bit more of a challenge, you're going to hover your knees about 1 inch off the mat. You're going to breathe here, hold here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Shift back into downward facing dog. From here, you're going to start to pedal out your feet, finding that down dog. Legs can be slightly wide, hands can be slightly wider. And then you're going to shift your hips up and back. Hands are going to place evenly into the mat. You're going to think about the same feeling you had when your pinkies were pressing into the ground in your child's pose. So turn your armpits towards each other. And then again, press your hands even more into the ground, shifting your hips up and back. Maybe there's a bend into the knees. Take an inhale here. And hold for the exhale. Another inhale. And exhale. On your next inhale, your gaze is going to come slightly forward, bend into your knees, and then slowly walk your feet towards your hands. Coming into a forward fold. Knees can be bent. I like to use my blocks for a place for my hands. On your next inhale, you're going to come to a halfway lift. Placing your hands on your blocks. Maybe they're on your shins. You're going to think about your inner thighs reaching towards the back of the room, making sure your knees aren't locked. You're going to pull the ribs to the midline and think about the head reaching in the opposite direction of your tailbone. Take another inhale here, and then exhale, forward fold, bending at your knees. Inhale, extend in mountain pose, reaching your hands up high to the sky. And then exhale, hands come to heart center. Let's come in to our elongation. So on your next inhale, you're going to reach your hands up to the sky. Hold them here. As you exhale, press down through your feet, squeeze your glutes, ribs pull in, belly button to spine, reach those hands, maybe your shoulders go with you. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart, or inhale, excuse me. Exhale here. Take another inhale, reach the hands up to the sky. And then exhale, you're going to forward fold back down to the mat, bringing your hands to the blocks or the ground. Inhale for a halfway lift, nice and strong here. Straight spine, reach that tailbone and head in opposite direction. And then exhale, bring your hands to the mat. You're going to step back into a plank or kneeling plank. So always an option to bring the knees down. Think about the armpits reaching towards your feet. Pull the ribs in, take an inhale here, and then exhale, lower all the way down, elbows towards the body, coming all the way down. Hands are going to go underneath your shoulders. Press the tops of your feet into the mat. Reach those elbows towards your feet. And then on your next inhale, we're going to come into a low cobra. All you're going to do is lift your shoulders off the mat. Head is going to lift with you, but you're going to keep a long spine. So you're going to feel strength in your upper spine. Pull the belly button in to protect your low back. Take an inhale here. And then exhale, release all the way back down. Tuck your toes. And then you're going to push up through a tabletop or plank pose. And then back down to downward facing dog. Take an inhale. Hold for the exhale. Another inhale here. And exhale. Inhale, start to send your gaze slightly up as you bend into your knees and then walk your feet towards your hands. Inhale for a halfway lift, find length. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, extended mountain, reach up towards the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. Now we'll bring our hands to our shoulders, reaching the elbows wide, and we'll find elongation here. So we'll take a small inhale to start. Exhale, drive down through the feet, squeeze the glutes, pull the ribs in, belly button to spine as we reach the elbows wide and the top of the head up towards the sky. Big inhale. One more time, exhale, ground down through the feet, squeeze the glutes, pull the ribs in, belly button to spine, elbows go wide, head reaches to the sky. Big inhale here. And then exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, reach the hands up towards the sky. And then exhale, forward fold, hands to the earth. Inhale for a halfway lift, find length, pull the belly button in. Exhale, hands to the mat, step back to your plank or kneeling plank pose. Take an inhale here, reaching armpits back, and then exhale, slowly lower down, elbows in towards the body. Bringing your forehead to the mat, bring your hands along your side, palms face down. We'll take half locust here, pressing the tops of our feet into the mat. Pull the belly button in. And then on your next inhale, you're going to lift your head, your shoulders, and your fingertips or your hands, reaching your fingers towards your feet and keeping the chin down so you're not, you're keeping a nice and long spine. Take another inhale and then exhale, lower down. Hands go underneath your shoulders, tuck your toes, push up through plank pose or tabletop, and then downward facing dog. Take another inhale. Let it go as you exhale. Inhale here. And exhale. Inhale, start to send your gaze forward, bend into your knees, and then slowly walk your feet towards your hands. Inhale for a halfway lift, find length. And then exhale, fold. This time, we're gonna come into chair pose. So start to bend the knees, shift the hips back, and then hands are gonna reach forward. You're gonna start to tuck the tailbone, and let's bring your hands to heart center to start. So press your palms together and your elbows stay wide. You're gonna press down into your feet. Imagine like you're ripping the mat in half outward. So you start to feel the outer thighs engage, and then press into the big toe to feel your inner thighs engage. Tuck the tailbone slightly just to get your ribs and abs to turn on, and you're not taking it all on your low back. Hands can stay at heart center. I'll give you some options. You can always put them on your shoulders to find wideness in your shoulders. You can reach your arms up and over your head. When I do this, I like to really bring that weight to my hips and balance from my fingertips to my tailbone. And then maybe you start to add your corrections. So not the right one, your thoracic convex hand goes towards your shoulder, and your thoracic concave reaches over your head. Take an inhale here, and then exhale, you're gonna stand up, squeezing your glutes, hands come to heart center, beautiful. Take another inhale. Hold for the exhale. Inhale, reach the hands up high to the sky, reach, reach, reach. And then exhale, we're gonna sit back into chair pose again. Find that nice and strong chair, pressing down into your legs, feeling the outside and the inside of the thighs working. Ribs are turned on to the midline. Maybe you have your corrections in your arms. Take another inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Slight bend into the knees. Inhale for a halfway lift. And this time we're gonna step the left foot back. Lower the left knee. Coming into low lunge. And then hands can go up towards the sky. You're gonna shift that right hip back, left hip forward, tuck the tailbone. You should feel a stretch in front of that left hip. Your hands can stay reaching towards the sky, or again, maybe you take those corrections with the thoracic convex at your hand at the shoulder and the thoracic concave reaching towards the sky. Breathing here. Take another inhale. And then exhale, we're gonna turn this into a kneeling warrior two. So if your hands wanna use the ground to come there, you can. Otherwise, just shift that left foot towards the right and then turn your body so that you're in a kneeling warrior two position. You're gonna press down into your legs, squeezing your glutes, and think about your inner thighs squeezing together. And I really like thinking about reaching your arms wide, because finding space in the spine, in the back, is very important. You're gonna feel that right glute turn on slightly. Take another inhale. Exhale, come back into a low lunge. This time grabbing for your blocks, coming into half splits. So bringing the blocks back, straightening that front leg, and shifting the hip back. Now you're gonna watch out. If you are hypermobile, or if your knee likes to lock, you're gonna keep that knee slightly bent. The toes can lift with you, shift that hip back. You can stay lifted, or maybe you start to fold over. Just watch the rounding of the spine. I like to keep a long straight spine as much as we can. Take another inhale and exhale to soften. On your next inhale, you're going to bend into that front knee, tuck the back toes, bring the hands back either side of your foot, and then step that left foot next to your right foot. Take an inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, find chair pose. Pressing into your feet. Imagine like you're ripping the mat in half while you're pressing into your big toe. Ribs to the midline, belly button to spine. Think about long line from the tailbone to the top of the head. Take another inhale here and exhale, forward fold. Inhale for a halfway lift, find length. Exhale, start to step the right foot back, lower that right knee, coming into low lunge. And then here, you're going to shift that left hip back, right hip forward, tuck the tailbone. Then you'll feel a nice stretch in front of that right hip. Hands can reach up to the sky. Maybe your hands to your shoulders to reach wide, or maybe again, finding your correction in your upper body here. Always getting that corset feeling in your abs. Your side waist comes to the midline. Your pubic bone comes to your low ribs. Take another inhale here. And then exhale, make your way to a kneeling warrior two. Hands can go to the mat as you walk your hands towards the right, swinging that right leg to the left, and then coming up, opening your arms to either side. Again, you'll start to feel the left glute start to come on as you bring that knee towards to track over your big toe, if that feels good in your hip. Think about lengthening through the top of your head and reaching your arms in opposite direction. Always bringing those ribs into the midline. Take another inhale here. And then exhale, turn yourself back to a low lunge, making your way to a half splits. Walking the hands back, straightening that left leg. Shift that left hip back. Maybe the toes lift. And exhale, fold. Again, watching out for the knee, making sure that it's not locked or hyperextended. Take another inhale here. And exhale, fold. Inhale, start to lower that front foot, bend into the front knee, hands go forward, tuck the back toes, lift the back knee, step that right foot to meet your left, top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale for a halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale to chair pose, drop the hips, lift the chest. Exhale, mountain pose, hands to heart, squeeze your glutes at the top. Inhale, extended mountain, reach the hands high, press down through the feet. And then exhale, chair pose again. Bend the knees, shift the hips back, reach the arms forward, ribs pull in. Take another inhale, find length. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale for a halfway lift, find length. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step your feet back to your plank or kneeling plank. Take another inhale here. And exhale, lower all the way to the mat. This time, you are going to bring your hands above your head with your pinkies to the mat. Head goes down. And you are going to press your pinkies down and press the feet down. Pull the ribs in. Take another inhale here. And exhale, release. Bring your hands back underneath your shoulders. Tuck your toes. Push up through tabletop or plank pose. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Take another inhale here. And exhale, let it go. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, start to lift the heels, gaze goes forward. Exhale, bend into the knees. You can slowly walk your feet towards your hands. Inhale for a halfway lift, find length. Exhale, fold again. Slight bend to the knees. Inhale to find chair pose, drop the hips, lift the chest. Find length through the tailbone and through the head. Exhale, mountain pose, hands to heart. Squeeze your glutes at the top. Inhale, extend in mountain reach through the hands. Press through the feet. Exhale, shift back into child's pose. Find length here. Take another inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale here for a halfway lift. And then exhale, lower your hands. You're going to step back to crescent pose. Left foot steps back. And then you're going to come up to a high lunge here. So again, like low lunge, you're going to shift that right hip back, left hip forward, tuck the tailbone. Find your ribs, squeeze them to the midline, belly button to spine. And then again, options here for your hands. Up towards the sky, hands to your shoulders, reach the elbows wide, or your correction in your upper thoracic here. Breathing here. Take another inhale. Hold for the exhale. Inhale, reach both hands to the sky. Exhale, you're going to hinge forward, bring your arms behind you, and then hinge as you shift that right hip back. You're going to reach your arms back, feeling that back side engage. And then if you feel like you have the strength in your legs, you're going to keep your arms here. Otherwise, hands go to blocks. You're going to move through straightening that front leg, shifting the hip back, and then bending back into the knee, keeping a hinge forward. So inhale, straighten the leg. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. Hold here for a breath. Inhale here. And then exhale, warrior two. So you're going to release that back heel, bend into that front knee, and then open up to warrior two position. Maybe you need to adjust your feet a little wider or narrower. You're going to tuck the tailbone. You're going to squeeze your inner thighs together. Watch out for that back knee so it's not locked. And then your arms are going to reach wide. I like to keep my gaze forward instead of over my fingertips because it doesn't always feel good in my neck. But listen to your body. Gaze wherever it feels good in your body. Again, you can always take your scoli corrections or just work on providing space in that backside. Feel that right glute turn on. Take another inhale. And then exhale, side angle. The right forearm is going to go to the right thigh. We're going to start with that left hand up towards the sky. You're going to shift that right hip towards the left foot. So you're going to shift it back, press the forearm, the right forearm into the thigh back into the forearm. That's going to engage this side body here. And then if that left arm is your thoracic convex, you're going to reach the arm towards the back of the room. If it's your thoracic concave, you're going to reach that hand up and over your head. Continue to press that forearm into the right forearm into the thigh, finding a side body engagement. Take another inhale. Hold for the exhale. Inhale to reverse warrior, but this is going to be a scully version. So you're going to come up, the left hand's going to go down the left leg, and instead of doing a side bend, you're just going to find length in this, reaching that right hand high to the sky. So think straight spine, reach the hand, reach the head up towards the sky. Take another inhale. And then exhale, you're going to come down into a hands to the mat lunge here, keeping that back knee lifted. Take another inhale. And then exhale, hands are going to go slightly in front of that right foot. You're going to lift that left leg as you stand on that right leg, shift that right hip back, squeeze the left glute here. So you're in a supported warrior 3. Take another inhale, and then exhale, lower back down to a chair pose, lowering that left foot to the right, drop the hips, lift the chest, reach the hands up. Take another inhale. Exhale, mountain pose, hands to heart, squeeze your glutes. Inhale, extended, reach up towards the sky. Exhale, chair pose, sit back. Take another inhale here, find length. Exhale, forward fold, hands to the mat or blocks. Inhale for a halfway lift. And then exhale, this time you're going to step that right foot back for high lunge, crescent pose. Hands go up towards the sky. First, you're going to shift that left hip back, right hip forward, tuck the tailbone, maybe that back knee's bent. If you're feeling wobbly, you can always widen your stance. Turn the ribs to the midline. And if your hands, arms are getting tired, your hands can always be at your waist. Just think about wide elbows. Think about armpits going towards the ground. Maybe your hands are at your shoulders. Maybe you're in your correction, or maybe you're finding length throughout your whole spine here. Breathing here. Wherever you are on your next inhale, you're going to reach both hands to the sky. And then exhale, hinge forward, bring your arms behind you. Feeling that backside start to engage, shift the left hip back. And now we're going to straighten and bend that front knee. Always an option to place your hands on the blocks for this. So on your next inhale, straighten that front leg. Exhale, bend into that front knee. Inhale to straighten. Exhale to bend. Inhale to straighten. Exhale to bend. Inhale to straighten, hold here. Take an inhale. Exhale, warrior 2. Bend into that front knee, lower that back heel, open up. Adjust your feet if you need to. Start to tuck the tailbone. Feel the left and glutes engage. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Watch that back knee. Ribs pull in. Reach those arms in opposite direction. And then gaze goes wherever it feels comfortable in your body. Breathing here, holding here. Maybe you bend that front knee a little bit more. Take another inhale. Exhale, side angle, left forearm to left thigh. We're going to start with reaching that right hand to the sky. Adjust your feet if you need to. Really press that forearm into that thigh, feeling that side body engage. Shift that right hip, or left hip, excuse me, towards the back of the room. And then again, if that right side is your thoracic convex, you're going to reach that hand towards the back of the room. If the right side is your concave, you're going to reach the hand up and over your head. If you're not sure, you're going to reach your hand towards the sky. Continue to press the left forearm into the thigh. Find strength on that side. Holding here, breathing here. On your next inhale, come into reverse warrior, keeping that spine straight. Right hand goes down, right leg. Keep that bend into that left knee. Reach that left hand to the sky. Take another inhale here. And then exhale, lower your hands to either side of that front leg. Adjust the back toes. And then hands go slightly in front, either on blocks or on the mat, depending on what feels good in your body. Start to shift your weight forward, lifting that right leg up. You're going to square your hips so that right hip starts to drop. Pull the ribs in. Find length in that right leg to the head. Take another inhale. Exhale, lower that right foot, finding chair pose, dropping the hips, lifting the chest. Exhale, mountain pose, hands to heart, squeezing the glutes at the top. Take another inhale, reaching up towards the sky, pressing down into the feet. And then exhale, hands to heart center. Take another inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale for a halfway lift, find length. And then exhale, hands to the mat. Step back into plank pose, or kneeling plank. Take an inhale here. Exhale, lower all the way to the ground. We're going to do a scoliosis here. So, trying to see if everyone can see me. Okay, so let's start with your lumbar. So the leg of your your lumbar concave leg is going to reach back, but press the top of the foot to the ground. The convex leg is going to lift when I say lift. So just know which one is the convex leg, because that's the leg you're going to lift. The thoracic concave arm is going to reach above your head, pinky fingers pressing down into the ground. And then your thoracic convex arm is going to come along your side, palm face down. Head is going to lower to the mat. Okay, so your, again, lumbar convex leg and thoracic convex are going to lift, and then the concaves limbs are going to press down. So we'll take a small inhale, and then exhale, lift and reach. Breathing here. Take another inhale. And then exhale, lower all the way down. Bringing your hands. Let's actually just shift onto our back. So from here, you're going to flip like a pancake onto your back. And anytime I go onto my back, my feet are on the mat, knees are high, just to protect that low back. From here, let's bring our knees in towards our chest, giving ourselves a nice big squeeze. If it feels good in our body, maybe we rock side to side. Let's take this into happy baby. So let the knees go wide and then grab for whatever's accessible. Maybe it's the thighs, maybe it's the calves, maybe it's the ankles. Maybe you can grab for your feet. And then again, you can stay still, or if it feels good, to rock a little bit side to side. Breathing here, letting this feel good. Starting to bring softness back into the body. Maybe you start to bend one knee and then the other. Maybe you start to straighten one leg as you bend one knee. Just noticing what feels good. And then not doing anything that doesn't feel good. Really being aware of what your body's telling you. And then we'll bring our knees back in towards our chest, giving them a nice big squeeze. Let's reach both legs up towards the sky, grabbing behind the thighs or maybe the calves. And then again, pointing and flexing the toes. And then bringing the knees in towards the chest and lowering the feet back down. Let's find a full body stretch. Let's taking it into like think about a star. So you're going to have your legs straighten out about the width of your mat. Let's bring the arms above our head. Again, the width of our mat. And then let's reach the opposite leg and the opposite arm going into the opposite direction. So we're going to reach them, reach the right leg and left hand, and then relax. We'll reach the left leg, right arm, and release. Reaching and reaching. Take another big inhale. Let's reach both arms and legs. And then exhale, starting to come into your final resting pose. So maybe you take your blanket, place it underneath your knees or your blocks underneath your knees. Maybe your knees stay lifted and your feet go wide. Bring your knees in towards each other. Arms can lay along your side, or maybe one hand on your heart, one hand on your chest. And we'll take a big inhale through our nose. Open mouth, sigh it out, let it go. Another big inhale here. Open mouth, side out as you soften your body towards the earth. Returning to your natural breath as you begin to soften your body from your head to your toes. Following your inhales and your exhales. Taking these last few minutes to find peace in the mind and in the body. Softening your head with each breath. Feeling your shoulders and arms begin to soften. Feeling your back begin to soften along your spine. Feeling your hips, your glutes, your belly soften towards the earth. Feeling the muscles in your thighs and lower legs begin to relax. Feeling the toes soften. Letting your arms be relaxed. Continue to follow the inhales and the exhales of your breath. Just noticing any thoughts begin to come up. And if you have a thought, just acknowledge your thought and then let that thought float away, coming back to the breath. Slowly start to deepen your breath, coming back into your body, feeling the weight and the connection of your body on the mat, starting to create gentle movements in your fingers, your toes, your ankles, your wrists, gentle movements in your head, rolling side to side. Maybe you take another full body stretch, reaching your hands up over your head. And then bringing your knees in towards your chest, giving yourself a nice big hug. And then rolling off to one side for fetal pose. Staying here for a moment, connecting back to the intention you may have said at the beginning of your practice. Knowing that you can take that intention off your mat when you're ready, slowly making your way to a seat. We'll do one jellyfish breath, finding elongation. So hands can be on your thighs or on the ground or wherever it feels good in your body. Take a small inhale to start. And then exhale slowly as you press down through the legs. Squeeze your glutes, ribs pull in, lengthen through the top of the head. Finding length here. Big inhale when you're ready. And then exhale, release, give yourself a little wiggle. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a good evening.